Well. Welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watsu-K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. If you're brand new, welcome aboard. Please like and subscribe and share. If you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate everybody's support. Let's get right into this game preview. The New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. The Jets 0-5. The Broncos are 3-2, coming off a big win against the Philadelphia Eagles, coming down from 17 points down. This game will be played in London. It is technically a Jets home game, so they're going to try to make the stadium green, and they'll try to get the chant in there. Actually, it feels kind of similar to MetLife Stadium. They'll try to make it green to see if it actually feels like a Jets home game. So strange. But anyway, this game starts at 9:30 Eastern time. My advice from one human being to everybody else out there, go to church, go out to breakfast, take a walk, bob for apples, whatever you like to do in the fall. I'm expecting a bloodbath here. I just don't have any reason right now to believe that this is going to be a tight game. I don't have much confidence in it, but let's talk about why. Let's break down these matchups, starting when the Broncos are on offense going against the Jets defense. Well, the Denver offense is averaging 355.2 yards per game. That's 9th in the NFL, 23.4 points per game. That's only 18th in the NFL. Now, the quarterback, Bo Nix, is one of those up-and-coming quarterbacks, but it's hard to imagine quite how high his ceiling is. He's not the prototypical huge arm quarterback, but he does often find ways to win games and make big plays. And really, what's more important than that when it comes to a quarterback? His stats for the year, he's completed 114 out of 176 passes for 1,103 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Didn't have the cleanest game against Philadelphia, but found a way to win. And there is something, again, to be said for that. But the thing with Nix is if you get pressure on him, he really struggles. Now, that might sound like an obvious thing to say about a quarterback, but that is when he is prone to turning the ball over, making foolish plays, possibly fumbling, different things like that. The problem is the Jets have shown no sign at all that they can rush a passer on a consistent basis. So paging Jermaine Johnson, who returns this week, and he is sorely, sorely needed. How much more can you watch of Braden McGregor? How much more can you watch of Tyler Barron? How much more can you watch of Michael Clemens? So JJ better come back ready to feast, which in turn can make Will McDonald's job that much easier on the other side of the defensive line. And running back, they got J.K. Dobbins, the former Baltimore Raven, 77 rushes for 402 yards. That's the 4th highest total in the NFL, 4 touchdowns. And here's the thing. Of those 402 rushing yards, 255 of them have come after initial contact. He's not easy to bring down, and for a Jets defense that struggles to tackle, whether it's actually executing the tackle or taking the angle to the ball carrier, that's scary. In the Broncos' Week 4 win over Cincinnati, Dobbins had the first 100-yard rushing game for Denver since 2022. Latavius Murray did it. Crazy. So he has a very similar profile as, say, a Javonte Williams of Dallas, who last week the Jets made look like Walter Payton in his prime. They've also got rookie R.J. Harvey, who's got 31 carries for 150 yards, so about 5 yards a pop. Wide receiver, you have Cortland Sutton, 26 catches on 37 targets, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 plays of 20 yards or more. Probably their best wide receiver. But you also have Troy Franklin. The youngster has 21 catches on 32 targets, 231 yards, 1 touchdown. Marvin Mims, kind of a good all-around receiver, plays in the slot primarily, also handles the returns on special teams. I do like Pat Bryant. Now, I don't know if he's going to get used all that much. He has only 2 catches this year, but he is a very deep threat. I like the rookie out of Illinois, just sort of an under-the-radar player to watch. The Broncos in the offseason added veteran tight end Evan Engram. He hasn't done much this year, only 12 catches on 19 targets for 95 yards. Now, at the offensive line, the best word that I could use is, the best way I could describe it is previously stable, but now has some questions. Now, up until this week, they've been really good. Opponents are sacking Bo Nix only 1.0 times per game. 1 sack, that's second best in the NFL. By comparison, the Jets are allowing 3.2 sacks per game of Justin Fields. Of course, some of that is Fields holding onto the ball way, way, way too long. But Garrett Bowles at left tackle, Ben Powers at left guard, Quinn Miners at right guard have all been there for quite some time. But they lost Powers, the left guard to Philadelphia with a biceps injury. So he goes on IR. And that's significant because since Denver signed him as a free agent in 2023, he's played 40 out of a possible 40 games. He's a very good run blocker, so that could hurt the ground game up the middle. That bears watching. You also had Mike McGlinchey, the veteran, on the right side of tackle two. The run defense for the Jets has to show up. The Broncos run for the fourth most yards per game. The Jets allow the fourth most yards per game. So I would expect a lot of running early and often by Denver. All right, now let's do what we always do. Let's flip the script when the Jets offense has the ball going against this Denver defense. Oh, dear God. This Denver defense is something else. 288 yards allowed per game. That's fifth. 16.8 points allowed per game. That's second. But check some of these numbers out. The defense allows 1.2 touchdowns per game. That's best in the league. They're number one in red zone defense. Just 28% of opponents' red zone trips turn into touchdowns. They have a 31.7% pressure rate on quarterbacks. That's number one. 21 sacks. That's number one. They're a dangerous, dangerous defense. So let's talk about some of the players. DJ Jones in the middle at nose tackle. I wanted the Jets to sign him several times. They never did. He was limited in practice this week with a shoulder. He should play. Of course, at defensive end, we have to talk about John Franklin Myers. Good player, very good locker room guy, but I got to be honest, some certain Jet fans need to stop treating him like he's Bruce Smith and Reggie White combined. Come on, it's actually comical at this point. I know he should still be here, and they traded him so they could have room for Hassan Reddick, and it was not a good decision. But here's the thing. He's in a contract year. He has a lot to prove in this game. So I'm a little more worried about JFM in this game because he'll want to show out against his old team. But come on, let's not act like he's going to the Hall of Fame or he's going to be in the Ring of Honor, please. But the pass rush worries me. You have John Cooper and Nick Bonito, a very formidable pair. Cooper this year, 21 pressures, 2.5 sacks, but Bonito is the guy. 26 pressures, 7 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss in 5 games. Nobody else in the NFL has more than 5 sacks. Bonito has 7. So Olu Fashanu, it's time to start pass blocking the way you're supposed to. He's had a very inconsistent year, and this is a moment for Olu Fashanu. If you want to talk about the most pivotal Jets to this game, I would put number 74 right in the crosshairs. Alex Singleton, an inside linebacker, a team-high 44 tackles. Denver plays a 3-4. Cornerback, you have Pat Surtain, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, if not the best. 5 pass breakups already. Riley Moss is the other outside corner, and there is no cornerback who gets targeted more in the NFL than Moss, and that's because quarterbacks avoid Surtain when possible. But you know in this game, Surtain is going to be traveling with Garrett Wilson. That's the marquee match. The problem is, do the Jets have another wide receiver who can exploit Riley Moss? Alan Lazard is out of this game for personal reasons. Josh Reynolds, please. Arian Smith, he's getting snaps, but how much of an impact has he really made? I really hope this week one of the 3, Jamal Pritchett, Brandon Smith, or Quinn Skinner gets a chance to play. Just a few snaps, just a chance. So Tanner Engstrand's got a challenge. He has to find ways to get Garrett Wilson away from the coverage of Patrick Surtain. That's going to be a big challenge. At safety, Brandon Jones is very, very good. The Broncos have had only 1 defensive interception this year, and he had it. So how do the Jets go after this Denver defense? What's the best idea? Well, I'm worried about this pass rush just killing us. I would just run the ball and stick with that. You know, it feels like just about every week, feed Brees, try some designed RPOs with Justin Fields. I just don't know how much they can really do in the passing game. I like that Mason Taylor is getting more targets and that he's making more catches. It's a situation where another receiver other than Garrett Wilson is going to have to step up. There's just no way around it. And if I had to trust one right now, it's got to be the second-round rookie tight end. It's got to be Mason Taylor. And we know this. The Jets are not going to throw down the field all that much because I don't think the coaching staff trusts Justin Fields to hit those deep throws. That's why a lot of the passes are short to intermediate passes. So run the ball well and go to Mason Taylor. Let's see if it works. A couple of other game notes. With the kicking game, Nick Folk, a perfect 16 for 16 on kicks this year for Gang Green. Will Lutz, the former New Orleans Saint, is 19 for 20 on kicks for Denver. The Broncos, they have only 4 takeaways, but here's one of the issues with them. They have 43 penalties. That's the second highest in the NFL. If you're worrying about the Jets, they're right behind the Broncos. They have 42 penalties, tied with 4 other teams. So both of these teams have seen a lot of yellow flags. So count on a whole lot of yellow littering the Tottenham Spur field this Sunday. How do the Jets win? I just hope Denver views it as a trap game and they let up. I just wouldn't expect that with a coach like Sean Payton as head coach, because let's be honest, every team that the Jets play seems to have a player or a coach who has a vendetta against them. And this week, it's going to be JFM yet again. So let's see what winds up happening. Nobody's giving the Jets a chance in hell in this game. Let's just hope for the best, and then we will go from there. All right, everybody, let me know what you think down there in the chat. How's this game going to go? If you have any thoughts, you have any predictions, put them right down in there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.